Yes, guys, we are finally back. We finally made it for the second reaction video on this YouTube platform, brothers and sisters. Welcome to this Brbptv. Be real, be positive television, brothers and sisters. Big up all yourself for definitely tuning into these vibrations. I do appreciate every single one of you guys. I just saw a banana there, guys. Appreciations, man. Definitely for you guys, definitely being a part of this vibrations. I appreciate the banana I got this morning, brothers and sisters. Been a while since I had a banana. So appreciations all over, brothers and sisters. Big up all yourself, and of course don't forget to do what? Click the thumbs up button, click the like button. I would appreciate that, and of course subscribe and turn on that post notification so you can pretty much get the latest vibrations when I drop them. Be notified, and of course, brothers and sisters, help this channel to grow further and further in that regard right there, brothers and sisters. The previous one is on the Mr. Leaks reaction, guys. You definitely want to go check that out, so definitely do at the end of this video. And without further ado, brothers and sisters, let us get into the vibrations for today right there. Now, brothers and sisters, there's this lady in particular had something to say on the whole incident involving the Jonathan Leher, or whatever is his last name, one of the murder accused individuals of the Daniel and Dominique, prominent individuals who were doing great things in Dominica. And of course, this is what she had to say in that regard right there.
I was killed him, and what, sir, I don't like to tell you, as God in heaven see, if you see they never put Jonathan outside, the amount of blood he will get, he will die. Because I myself, I will take a whole face, I will take his eyes. You see his eyes? I will bite his eyes. I'll bite his eyes.
I can understand your
Why she want to bite his eyes? That's kind of crazy.
frustration, ma'am.
Yes, trust me, I will bite his eyes. I don't like to tell you.
So you miss Daniel very much.
Daniel because he was helping the community.
That's a good thing, man. You see, when individuals tend to help the communities and people really regard what you were doing for them as something that was viable and elevating them, that's always a good thing right there. But brothers and sisters, like I indicated when I did the reaction of that same sentiment around that time, big up Loftus Dura for, of course, going out in the streets and recording, you know, the situations and the happenings right there. But one thing I always notice, people always look at the present picture. They don't look at the nitty-gritty of the whole situation, brothers and sisters. Like I indicated in the previous reaction, I strongly believe that if individuals were looking forward to the benefit of Dominica in itself, the leaders that they put in positions would not be there. And as a result of leaders being in positions that they should not be in, they would not have caused this situation to happen where a particular individual depleted that ability of fellowship amongst individuals that you will consider good for society. I think that is the issue here. So yes, you might want to bite Jonathan and bite off his eyes, you know, and those kind of things there. Yeah, I don't know if it's octopus you think that day, but you want to bite off what, you know, you vex with him. Well, who should you really be vexed with? The individual for doing the action, where they depleted, you know, friendships and depleted a number of things from you, even the ability to make a few dollars? Or should you be mad at the person who allowed it to happen? Because keep in mind, brothers and sisters, we are always indicating that this has been happening for a number of years, to which the courts got involved, to which police was contacted, and it seems like nothing happened, to the point where this thing escalated to where it is today. Now we're hearing that this individual is trying to get bail, going to his lawyers for him to see if he can get bail for some sort of reason, talking about he's sick, but he doesn't know if he's sick or not. I don't know anyways, this is what the Canadian individuals or media reps indicated to us. But on the basis of this, we have to look at the root of the issue. We're always looking at the basic, what we see in the surface level. The top, you have to go at the bottom, brothers and sisters. I remember me and Elias was talking about certain things sometimes, and he would tell me, Mr. Leaks, but you're going too deep. Yes, sometimes, brothers and sisters, you have to go to the root of this situation to be able to solve problems, brothers and sisters, because this thing is not just gonna stop, it will continue, especially if the one who allowed this to happen is the one in position. One of the questions that I ask, brothers and sisters, is the Prime Minister or whoever come together and say, hey, we are trying to resolve this situation, and because the people of Soufriere are hurting, a man who did great things for them, they are hurting, and we are here in this situation right now, you want to bite off the individual's eye. True, I get your sentiment, I understand your point, but shouldn't you try to bite off the person who was responsible for it? Isn't that a good thought process to have? Because this could have been prevented. Just like when we're looking at the hospitals, brothers and sisters, like yesterday, I spoke about the hospital situation, and Caressa was talking as if the hospital is the best in the world. The best in the world, brothers and sisters. People complaining over and over about the hospital. The same hospital that Caressa is talking about is one of the, it has been the best. Nonsense you're talking. Dominica has better healthcare back in the day than today. Yes, you talk about the dialysis. Yes, that's good, but looking at the root situation, brothers and sisters, the reason why the hospital is the way it is because of the heads. It's because of the heads, brothers and sisters. They change out one of the individuals, the former Minister of Health, and they put an engineer for the health minister, from my understanding. They put him there and he coming to make it as if that is the first time they're missing things in the hospital. You have to look at the root of the situation. It's always the root, brothers and sisters. Not what you see at face value. This is why I was mentioned Domlek. Domlek cutting lights and all those kind of things there back in the day. What have you? What was the root for that? Where the lady now who was the general manager is now working in Barbados. Because she tried her best to make the public aware of what was going on. Brothers and sisters, it's interesting, you know. Just like Lennox speaking sometimes, and Lennox is making certain things be known aware. And because they think he might be ugly, or they don't like him, or they don't want him to be prime minister or whatever, they're just making up stories, and people just believe in it. Evidence to prove. Boy, I tell you, boy, something wrong with humans here, brothers and sisters. Something is really wrong. So yes, you want to bite his hand or bite his eyes. But who should you really be biting? That is a question I should ask. Who should you really be biting, brothers and sisters, for what was done to Soufriere right there? I saw this video.
But imagine laughing the place, so and people check in, I say Dominica, okay. They laugh in the place, there's so much. Yeah.
There's something going on in Dominica, brothers and sisters, for which I've been indicating to you guys a number of times. Dominica is not on the rise. Even though the ministers might say, oh, Dominica is on the rise, they're lying to you. Their salaries is on the rise, your salaries is not. To the point where your salary value, even though you might see a little increase, is actually going on based off inflation value. Which brings me to a particular video that I'll be showing you guys in a while. But of course, I must point out this particular situation right there. You know how it is. Different circus, same clowns. Let me repeat that, brothers and sisters. You know how it is. How do you know how it is? Remember, guys, I showed you sometimes utilizing certain African videos, and I tell you guys, can Dominica relate to it for which most of you guys tend to agree? It's very much relatable when it comes down to certain things that are happening in Dominica, that is happening in Africa. So it's happening overseas and it's happening here, and people are wondering, you know, hey guys, don't you think that is a problem right there? I think that is a problem. Well, it's not just Africa, brothers and sisters. Let us go to the United States. I want you guys to listen carefully. Listen carefully. Remember, guys, different circus, different country, same clowns, brothers and sisters. Take a listen.
This is all a scam. I mean, we got people that's getting ready to retire that's going to try to live off $2,000 to $3,000. Impossible. Never. It's impossible. Because what happens, it comes up here, we spend it. We're $35 trillion in debt. We don't have any money. We're dead broke.
No, this is United States, brothers and sisters. I want you to relate that to Dominica. Is Dominica dead broke with all the debt that Dominica has? Is it? Especially when we owe China, yet still China is the one coming down to utilize more for funds so they can... A little find out weird. But then again, it's maybe because China is probably one of the cheapest to do business with. But brothers and sisters, let me bring that back for you guys to understand.
This is all a scam.
It's all a scam.
I mean, we got people that's getting ready to retire that's going to try to live off $2,000 to $3,000. Impossible. Never.
To live off $200,000 to $300,000 is impossible in the United States. You're talking about social security, brothers and sisters. You ever ask yourself about the situation involving Dominica's social security? You never ask yourself them questions? Notice, remember when I said this, guys? Different circus, same clown.
It's impossible. Because what happens, it comes up here, we spend it. We're $35 trillion in debt. We don't have any money. We're dead broke. And then taxpayers have $2 trillion in credit card debt. We are in huge trouble. In this body, we had better start figuring that out, because we're going to have a run on this city here soon, and there's going to be about 150 million people coming up here saying, where's our damn money that we paid in?
But I don't think people understand it. People don't understand, you know, brothers and sisters. Right now, when you there was another video. Hopefully it is inside there. Hopefully it's inside there. But no, let me just let that play, guys.
I could have put my Social Security money 40 years in tax in the market and probably be worth 8 to 10 million today.
How much would yours worth today, brothers and sisters? I just want to, brothers and sisters, different circus, same clown.
But the federal government wasted it. So I'll get off my horse there. But it's good that we have this because we got, you know, I get a little pension check from education. I was part of a union. It's not going to help people. People are going to have to work, continue to work longer and longer. Am I right, Ms. Tender?
Brothers and sisters, boy, I tell you, boy, that boy.
When you say something about Social Security and it being taxed for some reason, we're taxing people for the second time on Social Security that they put into an account.
Yeah, and I'd like to point out when Social Security was first founded, those who established it was started out as a 2%.
2% tax, brothers and sisters. Where was Dominica's own back in the day, brothers and sisters? Where's Dominica own? Didn't they just increase it again? Didn't they just increase it again in Dominica, guys? I mean, come on, brothers.
Tax, and they said this will never take more than 6% of your income. Today it takes 12.4%.
How much percent of your income do they give to Social Security, guys? And keep in mind that is a law, you know. It's interesting that they made this a law to say that you have to pay Social Security for retirement and what have you. They say you have to do it, right? Your workers have to be paid Social Security. When you pay Social Security, the government apparently gets to use it. The government apparently gets to use it for whatever reason, and they should be replenishing it back. But if the government cannot replenish it back, brothers and sisters, with the increasing debts, remember we just go China and get so much $100 million or whatever debt loans or whatever. I know it's not free. They come to think it. Now, interesting when you talk about the United States, and a number of persons say, well, Mr. It's happening in the United States. Keep in mind, brothers and sisters, the United States can print money out of thin air and clear their debts today. If they wanted to, they would clear their debts today. It would increase the inflation value, but that just means that they will just have to pay back on the inflation value while they don't have debts, brothers and sisters. So they can clear it. China does the same thing and can do the same thing too. China can print money out of thin air and give it to people as loans. So they're printing money out of nothing, brothers and sisters. They give you $100 million loan, and you have to pay back $125, $130 million from thin air. They're giving it to you. And in an economy that is not doing well, brothers and sisters, on the basis of trying to elevate the standing, this is why I don't understand how Dominica doesn't have factories. We are an agricultural nation. How Dominica doesn't have these things is mind-blowing to me, right? Especially when you know for a fact that it is needed, yet still it's not. This is why I always tell people, what is happening in Dominica seems to be very intentional. Just like what is happening over there seems to be intentional. This is one of the reasons why I side with Trump. Because when Trump was in office, things was happening. Yes, I understand he might not be a best friend to the immigration people. True. But also was Obama. Obama deported more people than Trump did. So when you look at it, brothers and sisters, is what the news want to push to you versus reality. It's always interesting when you look at different sects and different... Boy, I tell you, it's... So the question I see there, it's very, very important, brothers and sisters. What exactly is happening with the Social Security? And if Dominica goes belly up, the only thing that is necessary to do is what is happening in Dominica today. Increase taxes. You wonder why you're paying taxes on income, and when you go to a store, you have to pay for... I would understand if you wasn't paying no income tax, brothers and sisters. No income tax, you make how much money or whatever. Then you go to the store, you buy stuff that has tax on it. You know, you got a number of places, but you pay income tax. Boy, you pay income tax, you saving your money in the bank, inflation hitting that, all kind of things going up, and you don't know what is happening even though you see your money increasing bit by bit. You go to the stores, you have to pay tax. The stores have to then pay. That is something else, we are. Anyways, brothers and sisters, I think this is very important to be pointed out.
And depending on whether you go with CBO or Social Security trustees, it needs to take between 15.8 and 17.5.
So it moved from 2% to 15.8 to 17.5. Why? Why do you think that is? Is this by design? Because when I understood how the money is being made, brothers and sisters, printing it out of thin air, the Federal Reserve gives it at an interest. Remember, the economy doesn't have no money, right? That's zero, right? Federal Reserve print money out of thin air. Bow, look, some papers print. We say, okay, that's worth $100 because there's $100 on it. We're giving it to the economy. Now, in the economy has only received that $100,000. Let's say it's $100,000. The Federal Reserve is saying, you know what? You have to give back $130 million on that. Okay? $130 million because we're loaning it to you. The economy doesn't have $130 million, you know. No. It has $100 million in loans. But it has to pay back $130 million. So as it's doing this, brothers and sisters, what they tend to do, they have to go back to the Federal Reserve to print money out of thin air, which more money coming in for you to be able to pay that $130 million, but you getting more loans. More loans at interest going back into the economy and coming back out. So when you talk about the surplus, brothers and sisters, you still have a debt. This is why when you understand how the world works, you utilize debt to your advantage. This is why you need to set up a business and utilize debt to your advantage. The striving economies of the world, brothers and sisters, are debt. Debt companies, credit card companies, banks, these kind of things there where they owe, where people owe them. And it always seems to be constant because the money value also depletes. You would buy something, people used to work for $100 back in the day, $90 back in the day. If you equate that today, that's probably like $2,000-$3,000 now. And today, people are not even making $2,000-$3,000 now. They're making $1,200, $1,005, if all that. Some man making $700. But you understand what I'm telling you right there, guys? So this is why I ask you if this is intentional or if this is by design. And of course, when you look at the inflation value, brothers and sisters, inflation is 100% due to government printing money, to additional printing. So every time it circulates, brothers and sisters, why do you think America, brothers and sisters, America owes how much trillions of dollars in debt, you know? Trillions of dollars in debt. And you would wonder, but wait a while, but don't the people contribute how much taxes and this kind of things there? What exactly is happening with the monies that they think? That is a good question right there. This is why you need proper leadership. I remember when Trump was there, the deficit went down a bit based on the trajectory of it. The debt went down a bit, brothers and sisters. As Biden coming, that does shoot in the air. $200 billion go to Ukraine. Just like that. Not true? Things are supposed to be used to help. But look at Dominica. We can relate the same thing back to Dominica. They're talking about the social security. Look at the social security. They're increasing it. People having issues. We hear about the banks having problem with the government and no credit union. And now they have to go overseas to get loans and decide to bring out the people back. And then increasing prices in gas and all kind of things. And you're wondering what is going on, brothers and sisters. Is this not by design? Or also intentional? Because we shouldn't be creating debt on ourselves, especially due to the high amount of monies that we received as a result of CBI. Yes. Apparently we received about 25% rating of that funds. 75% was not there. The government will tell you, no, nothing is owed to Dominica, but at the same time tell you, yes, there is something overseas, but it's for something else. So it's not actually owed to the Dominican people. It's used for infrastructure, building, and this kind of things there, which is of course the Dominicans' own, but it's telling you it's not the Dominicans' own because it's on something. It's on something else. So this is very interesting, brothers and sisters. Why didn't they create the factories that could actually help the people? Why are they putting up prices on the people, brothers and sisters, and then claiming that things are bad, while at the same time they're increasing their salaries? And you telling me something is not fishy here? You don't find something weird? You don't find something interesting? This is one of the reasons why I always tell people, hey, I understand the sentiment of what is going on in Dominica, but this is very important. I want you guys to listen to this one as well.
January 12th, 2007 in Boston. An individual went to the subway with a violin and started playing. He played for 45 minutes and a couple people stopped by. At the end of the 45 minutes, he picked up his hat and he had somewhere just short of $30. Now, what no one knew was that person was a gentleman named Joshua Bell, who was the most famous violinist on the planet Earth. 2 days prior, he sold out the Boston Orchestra, where every seat was hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars.
You guys getting this, right? You guys getting this?
No matter how extraordinary you are.
No matter how extraordinary you are.
If you're in the wrong environment.
If you are in the wrong environment. I get chills when I say that because I learned that in Washington. When they're telling us about business and understanding business and, you know, the different sects that you need to use, places that have spending power, the raw materials, population sizes, kind of things there. That ability, brothers and sisters, for which when you look at Dominica, it doesn't have that. This is why I tell people, hey, you need to go. But no matter how extraordinary you are, if you are in the wrong environment, what?
You're very likely to be overlooked.
You're very likely to be overlooked and
undervalued. And
undervalued.
In relationships, but honestly, everything in life, if you stay in an environment that doesn't appreciate you, you're never going to achieve your full capability.
You will never achieve your full capabilities, brothers and sisters. When I look at Dominica, Dominica has a lot of potential, but that of which the potential doesn't never manifest to opportunities. It's just remaining as potential. When you look at Dominica potential, it strongly and seriously resides in agriculture. Why on earth they put a budget, I'll never forget that, put a budget of about $15 million for agriculture, brothers and sisters. I think it's 2022 to 2023. They put $15 million for budgeting for agriculture to help the agricultural sector. How much did they use in it? 1.9 or 2.6, one or the other, less than $3 million they use from that budget. And in an agricultural nation, they don't even use the full thing. You should have been putting $100 million towards that. Because of the amount of money, $1 billion, you should be putting $1 billion towards Dominica's agriculture. To help elevate it, brothers and sisters. Elevate into standing where you can do a number of things. I remember when they were talking about the cannabis industry, when Scary come and said cannabis industry would not be a growth factor for Dominica. Nonsense! You will only tell foolish people those things. Because when you look at the rest of the world who is involved in it, don't get me wrong, you know, brothers and sisters, I'm not for the smoking of this stuff. I'm not for the smoking of this stuff. Because you have the carbon monoxide and this kind of things there. But for medical reasons and other way, you can put it in cakes and all this kind of something there. If you get my drift, brothers and sisters. But when it comes on to that industry, the industry indicated based of the plans that we were looking to expand over the years, Dominica itself would not have enough people. Dominica would not have enough people to meet the demand. Therefore, they would have to import people. Asians want to come and bring them. That's to tell you how successful the industry would have been. And Scared coming and say it would not be a growth factor in Dominica. And we wonder, hey, what is going on, brothers and sisters? Is this not intentional? This is why very important, brothers and sisters, that we elect competent leaders. I remember seeing a video of the United Arab Emirates, in a particular individual was speaking about how it was 50 years ago. How it was 50 years ago. You look at Dubai and these places there. 50 years ago, you swear it's in Tennessee in the desert. Then people come out. Brothers and sisters, you're looking at Dubai today. That man make a whole world on the ocean. That man make a whole world with the different continent on the ocean. When you have competent leaders, you expect competence to come out from that, brothers and sisters. But when you have incompetence, or maybe you have competent leaders that are just wicked, because it kind of reminds you of places of Africa, where the Chinese or whoever are powers that are be, would then meet. Remember, they don't have to go after the people, you know, brothers and sisters. The people elect people to come. So when, just like Scarrett signing thing that majority of Dominicans did not want to be signed, especially when we were warned from the Trinidadian priests and these people of what happened in there. I read the article and realized that it was these guys on the pluralism. And Scarrett still went ahead and signed it, brothers and sisters. When I look at certain places in Africa, you tend to wonder what exactly is going on. Because When you look at certain leaders, they are willing and willfully willing to sell out their own people just so they can have their 1 acre and a mule. AKA probably $2 million, $1 million, they'll build a mansion for them or whatever. Just do that for us and we'll give you this. And they sell out their own people. We let them to do the bidding. This is why I always wonder, brothers and sisters, are not the people. People are, something has to be wrong with people. Something has to be wrong with people when it comes down to thinking, because I'm trying my best to understand why would people do themselves these things. The lady is talking about biting Jonathan's eyes. She want to bite it, brothers and sisters. And she's totally at will to do that of which she was affected by the taking of the lives of people who were helping her. And not just her, but the rest of the community as well. But you have to look at the root of this situation, because this has been happening for donkey years. And we look at these different things, brothers and sisters. Who is the root for this situation? Where you can utilize different things that are happening outside and say, hey, but wait, guys. It seems like there's a world plan. I remember when the Prime Minister was talking about the New World Order, the One World Order, whatever that is, brothers and sisters, on the basis of these kind of things. Then you tend to see certain things happening and you wonder, but wait a while. Why is this happening to Dominica? Why? You never ask yourself these questions, brother. Maybe I'm the funny one. Why is this happening to Dominica? The leadership, of course, is that question. But you blame the leadership for doing that of which the people allowed them to do. This is why one of the reasons why I actually posted a video some time back on the basis of what took place in a number of places, especially in these Scandinavian countries. You know, these Scandinavian and Scandinavian areas. But the people actually want things done. If the leaders are not doing the things that the people want to be done, or they are not helping them, they remove them. Yet still, we are fighting people. Well, I say we, but people are literally fighting to keep their oppressors in positions, to keep oppressing them. I don't know, guys. It's very interesting. And just like individuals like this guy, there are oppositions speaking about the same thing that is happening. The same thing that is happening, and the people are fighting the opposition because they're team in power, brothers and sisters. This is why we have heard that saying before. It's not about party. You cannot be putting party first. You have to put the country first. But I don't even think it's the country first, because the country can take care of itself. You have to be putting the people first. Sometimes people are so selfish within themselves that they don't focus on anything outside of themselves. Nothing outside of themselves, you know, brothers and sisters. They're looking for me, what I can get. Me. That's a narcissistic kind of mind frame to it. Me, I don't care about you. Once I get mine, I'm okay. And then everything else, that is their business. If there's a last bread there, instead of splitting that bread, I want all the bread for me. That is mine. I eat all, and that's fine. Because you think about you don't think about others. The same thing goes for these things. When you put leaders and elect leaders, you don't elect leaders on the basis of doing better for the country. You say, oh, that is my party because that's what my party, my mother's there, that's mine. You're not thinking about outside. You don't think about the little ones coming up. I saw 2 little boys in the brown clothes. 2 little boys walk in. And I say to myself, boy, if these little boys only knew that they are being raised in a place that doesn't elevate or look out for them. How do I know this? Because we grew up. Brothers and sisters, it seems like the people who left Dominica were the ones who elevated. The ones who left Dominica was the one elevated. And the very few that can make it because of the limited spending power of Dominica, they then portray these individuals, hey, you can be like them. But they're not seeing the root of the whole thing. If there's $100 circulating with $1,000 that is needed, the $100 have to split through the 1,000. Or those who actually have the links and what have you would most likely get most of that $100. So the rest of the 1,000 would just not get anything, or they might get cents. They might be surviving on cents. And the people who might be making $5, $10, $15 out of the $100, they put them in the spotlight and say, hey, they are doing it. What about you? You can be like them. Really, guys, I think we need to have a proper understanding when it comes down to the situation right there. I think we need to know and elevate and move past just ourselves. But hey, I'm just one person speaking about these things, guys. My observations. What are your observations on these things, guys? Do you think this is intentional? Do you think what is happening in Dominica is intentional? I personally think it's intentional. Because we had Ammonis that could have done a lot of things in Dominica. A lot. And when you're looking at the things that they are building, does that anything to elevate the people? Nothing at all. You know, putting factories there to elevate the people. Nothing. You want to say you're building hospital and what have you, and then people still have to come and bring their own stuff in. It was better then. Brothers and sisters, tell me back in the day, people had to go and bring their own sheets and stuff now. If you wanted to, you could. But today they tell you bring your own sheets and bring your different things. I don't know. The guys, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong in this, guys. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below right there, brothers and sisters. Leave your thoughts in the comment box below, because it'll be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting, man. To see different things that are happening across the world. And is it by design? It seems like they are putting these things together, everybody doing their own thing. And even when I look at Canada, I don't know what on earth is wrong with that partner. What on earth is wrong with Mr. Boy, what is his name again? I forget. Castro relative. Boy, I tell you, boy, I tell you. Maybe it's just me, guys. Maybe it's just me. What are your thoughts, man? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. This is pretty much all about for this year, Mr. Leaks. Brbptv vibrations. Like I indicated, what are your thoughts? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to check out the previous one I did, the Mr. Leaks reaction video. That'll be in the first comment in the comment box below as well. I'll also post the vlog. You know, I'll post it one last time so that you guys can definitely get to see that if you've missed it already. I know not all of you guys have seen that vlog. Definitely check out the vlog in that regard right there, guys. Click the thumbs up button, click the like button. I would appreciate that. And of course, subscribe and turn on that post notifications so you can get the latest vibrations. And of course, when you subscribe, guys, help the channel to grow further and further in that regard. Right, it's Mr. Leaks once again, guys. Be real.